All right, so this is a suggestion via Discord. The name of the video is Chicago spent $300 million on the migrant crisis, but where is the taxpayer money going? Let's go and check this out immediately, guys. Freedom of Information Act, guys.
NBC5 Investigates is taking the city of Chicago to court to obtain records related to the migrant crisis.
For months, our team has reported on problems inside migrant shelters here in the city and has exposed how millions in taxpayer dollars were being spent. And tonight, we're trying to understand why certain city records were withheld. Investigative reporter Bennett Haberly joining us now with more. Bennett.
Allison, Stephan, public records are vital to our reporting and to the public's right to know. In our quest to understand how the city responded to the migrant crisis, we combed over thousands of pages of reports, and in doing so, realized we may be missing some more. And now we're suing to obtain what should be public information.
All right.
At its height, Chicago's migrant crisis involved housing as many as 15,000 people, and in some cases meant having them live in crowded buildings. This once vacant warehouse was converted into the city's largest shelter in Pilsen, which at one time housed 2,500 people. Last month, NBC5 Investigates first reported how the city's own records helped identify potential gaps in the city's response to migrants' health needs. These records noted as far back as October, the city was aware that overcrowding individuals at the shelters put both new arrivals and shelter staff at higher risk of contagious illnesses, and that the lack of space within the shelter system created increased challenges to place people and provide them with initial health care. It was during that reporting process that we realized we may be missing 2 weeks worth of documents.
It shouldn't take a lawsuit to get access to this kind of information, but this administration is increasingly making it impossible for people to get records unless they go to court.
Yeah, but the problem here is, guys, really quickly, let me interject for a second here. There's a big issue here. Whenever there's a lot of money, specifically $300 million at risk, let's say, right? You're going to start to realize that people are going to start being paid, I don't know, $30,000 for things that generally should cost $200. Okay, you're going to start to realize that the money is not being accounted for in correct ways. Do you really want a crisis to end? Not really. And why, you may ask, is because people start lining their pockets with as much money as humanly possible at the literal sake of the community.
Attorney Matt Topic represents NBC5 Investigates. His firm filed the complaint on our behalf, alleging the city failed to comply with the state's Freedom of Information Act.
I think we've now filed 10 lawsuits for different clients for records about the migrant crisis, where the administration is just refusing to often even bother to respond to requests.
What's not clear is if these records don't exist at all or if they're being withheld. Joe Ferguson with the Civic Federation, a nonpartisan government research group, says anytime a news outlet has to sue for public records, it can impact public trust in government.
If you don't have it, say you don't have it and say why you don't have it. I think every one of these instances where the media has to file a lawsuit because, by all appearances, there is a hide the ball game that is going on, which then raises only more questions.
It is worth noting, in many cases, the city agencies request an extension of these requests, meaning it could be weeks or months before the public records are available. We'll certainly keep you posted on this case. We did reach out, by the way, to the city for response. We're still waiting to hear back. Alice?
How did I know they got no answer?
So glad you're staying on it. Thanks so much, Bennett.
Sure.
NBC5 Investigates continues to follow the money and the hundreds of millions of dollars spent on the city's migrant crisis.
Now, while the city has created a website to track migrant spending, our team found there are still many aspects of this that are shrouded in secrecy. Here's investigative reporter Bennett Haberly.
Guys, what do you want to bet that website that they created, it doesn't add up to the amount of money that's actually been spent?
As migrants begin to move out of shelters, invoices are still rolling in. The city of Chicago spent nearly $300 million on the migrant crisis so far, with more than $206 million paid to Kansas-based Favorite Healthcare Staffing, which staffs the migrant shelters.
Yeah, that's too much money, I'm sorry.
But not much is known about how these buildings are selected.
But I guess not really, because let me stop it for a second here again. The United States of America has the most expensive medical care system on this planet. And I think personally, if you're going to be doing this for specifically the migrants at least, what you should be doing is attempting to at least lower it for that case at least, right? You shouldn't be still charging, these ridiculous fees for the migrants. I'm just going to be honest here. Lower your price.
How much
the government should basically mandate it or do something about the migrant crisis in the first place, which they're not doing.
Property owners earn from lease agreements. Answering that is difficult, in part because of how the city structured its migrant operation.
It feels a little more translucent than transparent, right? You'll get some information, but not the full picture.
The city's migrant spending website shows more than $45 million have gone to a Louisville company, Equitable Social Solutions.
That's where a number of those leases are.
Mayor Brandon Johnson's office says Equitable helps facilitate and identify shelters through the help of another company, ReloShare. For months, NBC5 Investigates has asked for copies of the leases for the 27 shelters the city operated. Through a series of Freedom of Information Act requests, we received just 9 agreements. Those missing include lease agreements for the city's largest and most expensive shelters.
You should not have to go through the hoops that you've gone through just to get to partial information.
Joe Ferguson is Chicago's former Inspector General. He's now with the Civic Federation, a nonpartisan government research group.
We absolutely should know at every step of the way where the public's money is going to so that we can make an assessment as to whether or not it is being used well.
And guys, what we do know is that the money is not going for homeless veterans. It's not going for homeless Chicagoans, guys. It's not going for the south side of Chicago. It's not helping anything for the actual people that are paying into the tax base. It's not, guys. Right? And that's just the reality of things. Like all of the excuses that the Chicago government has given, some of the poorer sides of town, why things can't get done, why schools can't get fixed, why schools can't be reopened, why parks cannot be cleaned thoroughly or just maintained properly, right? All of the excuses. Oh, we don't have the money in our budget, but yet you found $300 million. Come on, bro. The entire government of Chicago needs to be changed, bro. All right, it's obvious. They all need to go, specifically if they're taking part in this farce, guys.
What we do know after reviewing hundreds of pages of invoices is how millions of dollars have flowed to these companies for the operation and use of the buildings. Take, for example, the city's largest shelter in Pilsen. Housing 2,300 migrants cost city taxpayers $38,000 for a single night. That's $280,000 a week, or more than $2.5 million over the course of 3 months.
I'm telling you right now that that's too much money being spent. You're overspending, bro. You're spending the money like the money is fake. That's what you're doing.
It was a similar story over at this Ogden shelter. For 3 months, $1.8 million. And at the end of Chicago, which at one time provided 1,500 beds, the cost $344,000 a week. If you total that out to a year, it's more than $17 million. It's tough to say how that money was divided up. Equitable Social Solutions directed our questions back to the city.
Of course
ReloShare did provide a statement, but it didn't answer any of our questions. And the property owners either didn't return our calls or would not comment.
Why would they comment, bro? Why would they comment? What you should be doing to look for, being that these are basically government contracts, that means that everything should be itemized. You should be attempting to subpoena an itemized kind of invoice, at least, right? That's what you should be doing.
If there are public dollars involved, shouldn't the public know where they flow?
100%.
Alderman Andre Vasquez chairs the City Council's Migrant Committee. He said even aldermen have had a hard time accounting for how these dollars have been spent.
I think something that we've been looking at is how to really get more mandated reporting from the government as they're making decisions, because our constituents are asking us those very questions.
I'm not looking to make any money on this.
Randy Schifrin told me he offered up a vacant property on South Michigan Avenue to the city last fall for $1 a year. The city, he said, passed on the offer.
They made a date with me to come and view the...
Because they're not making any money on it, bro. You have to understand. They want you to overcharge so you can kind of kick back some money to the pockets of most likely someone in charge.
Building, her and her group. And then at the very last minute, they were called back.
In response to
That's
other
crazy,
reporting
guys.
that the city had months ago turned down offers for other potential shelter sites from the Archdiocese, Mayor Braden Johnson pushed back.
All right, good afternoon, everyone.
Telling reporters the city is now working with the Archdiocese to bring one shelter online.
But it's not just as simple as, here's a building, take it. There's work that has to be done to build it out, to make it suitable.
But Johnson sidestepped our questions about calls for increased transparency.
We've seen the bed rates, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. I mean, I guess that's still the question that's outstanding. Would you support more transparency, more efforts to share those records?
Thank you for that question. Again, we're meeting you right where you are.
That response did not answer our questions about the calls for more transparency.
Yeah, I'm sorry. $38,000 a night for a bed is absolutely crazy. All right, I'm just going to be honest here. I don't know where I don't know where the price structure came from, but that's bad business. All right, it says that whoever's running it, the mayor specifically, right? Maybe he's just not intelligent enough, or so in business at least, intelligent enough in business to be able to run this gigantic budget, bro.
Bennett Haberly, NBC5 investigates.
Because I'm almost positive if you had to, like if we were forced to supply any type of housing for the migrants, guys, we could probably get it done for less than $1 million. Where's this money going? All right, there are a lot of hands being washed with this, guys. It's uncomfortable to say, bro, but this money is being wasted. Okay, it's in someone's pocket right now, and I'm guessing it's almost exclusively the healthcare system. But either way, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. All right, guys. Before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.